takes is a little compassion. We can start a no chain reaction. Yeah, give a little love is love away. Bring a smile to somebody's day. 'Cause you never know what they're going through. A kind word may be all it takes to let the sun shine through the gray. No, it really ain't that hard to do. 'Cause you never know, you might just leave a piece of heaven behind you when you give his love away. So give a little love is love now, no matter how small you feel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live on this beautiful Thursday evening. I am your host, Carolyn, and to my right, maybe to your left, actually, I'm not sure, I get backwards on these cameras, is my friend and co-host, Mr. Jerry Bradley. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad you're here with us and that you're doing well. We love having you with us, Jerry. Thanks for being here as always.
It's a
And
beautiful night.
he's already starting, y'all. He's already starting. We'll tell you about that later. It's our little code. So right below Jerry and myself is our special guest for this evening. I'm so excited to have him. Yet it feels so weird, doesn't it? It's like Mr. Robert Spears. Hey, Robert, how's it going?
How you doing, Miss Carolyn? Really good. Hi, Jerry. How y'all doing?
We are doing great. We're so happy to have you here with us. Excited to hear about some of your songs and your musical journey so far. So let's get started. Get right
Okay.
into it, Robert.
All
Let's start off, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
I'm originally a Louisiana, East Texas boy. My father was a professional musician my whole life. He played for Nashville and a lot of big entertainers and things. I grew up with never knowing who was going to be at the house, practicing, going through, and staying the night or stopping through. And then when my father was going to be gone too at this whole time. When I was about 8 years old, my father retired from Nashville. He actually had a heart attack, and he decided to come off the road and retire. And his retirement was, he told my mom, he says, I'm just going to start a local band, and play locally. He's been a musician. I was kind of late in life. I'll tell her I was an accident. And so my father was older and he was already retiring. And so his local band was East Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Arkansas was Daddy's local band.
That's not real local, is it?
Yeah, that ain't real local. But to him, that was local. And at 8 years old, I can remember I got my first guitar when I was 6. Watching my father play, all my brothers play. My uncles and aunts, they all play. Have a famous aunt that that's no longer with us no more. She passed away several years ago. And then all my great uncles and aunts, they all play. So it's a history.
Wow.
It just rolls down the hill. Daddy used to play for Louisiana Hayride for a while too, and with my aunt.
Oh my gosh!
And I say my aunt. I think it's my great aunt. Is Billy Joe Spears is my great aunt. And so we grew up 30, 35 miles from her. So we got to see her all the time. And Dad, and she come to my dad's studio because Dad owned a studio. And so we did that. So at 8 years old, I could play a guitar pretty good.
I bet.
And I ran around with my father. Back then it was like, it was my choice. Come on, I towed the equipment, I helped set stuff up, and didn't really. Every time they would practice at the house in the studio, I was right there. And every time they'd do something, I'd run upstairs to my bedroom, grab my guitar, and I'd try to play it. And I'd run back down, and that's how I learned.
Wow.
A lot of people don't understand. When we grew up, we didn't have the internet.
Right.
You had a book, and you didn't have nobody you could watch do it and everything. But that's how I learned. That's how I did it. And I got to play, the first time I got to play on stage, I was 8 years old. My dad's lead guitar player. We were at a club about 45 miles from the house, and Dad got a call at the club, and it was for my dad's lead guitar player his father had gotten killed.
Oh no.
And so he had to go, and it was like 20 minutes before they went on stage. And my dad told him, don't worry about it, get home, get to your family ASAP. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
So my dad said, come here, boy. And he put, back then they had the high bar stools, he put a high bar stool, because I'm 8 years old, and picked me up and put me on the bar and handed me a guitar, says, you're going to play tonight. Well, it become funny because after he did that, I played that one whole night, and I thought I did well. I hope I did well. He said I did, so I guess I did all right. It got to be, I felt like an attraction, because at certain times, Daddy'd say, because we played a lot of VFW halls, and a lot of, the places like that, the hard bars he wouldn't let me go to, of course.
Right.
But like the VFW halls and stuff like that, it was like, oh, come look at this 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid. And by I was 11, I could play a mandolin. I could play a little bit of steel guitar. I played a little bit of fiddle, and Daddy just kept banjo. He just kept shoving every instrument he could in front of me. And
he's like, you're making us money, son. Keep doing it.
Yeah, keep going. And I wasn't making no money. I asked him one time, I got 13, 14, and I asked him, I said, Dad, look, everybody else, by that time I'm old enough to understand what money really is and stuff. And I see at the end of the night, he's paying all the guys and stuff. And I'm going, hey, what about me? and he looks at me, he says, you're eating, ain't you? I said, well, yeah, Dad, I'm eating. He says, there's your pay.
That's hilarious.
But
That's a typical response too of a dad. Yeah.
But I'm tell you something. Dad's gone now, and I would not change a minute that I got to spend with my father, because I got to spend time with my father not as a father.
Yes.
I got to spend time with my father, and I didn't know it then growing up, as a fellow musician. And he was hard on me. I mean, he was, he was pretty hard on us as a kid too, growing up, as giving us morals and stuff. But he was hard on me about playing the right thing, playing it right, keeping in time, playing the right strokes. Whatever you did to the best of your ability, and you practice. There was not a time, I don't think, growing up, that I did not have a guitar or something in my hand practicing if we had any spare time. But to me, it wasn't practicing, because we were just jamming, having fun to me, and but I wouldn't take it back. I got lucky at 16. I got to play with a Nashville band. Dad kind of upset me, and we were getting ready to go to a gig, and I knew exactly how I was going to do it, because I knew how far he had to drive, and I knew the time distance that he had to get there to get set up and stuff. So he told me to come in. I come in on a Friday evening, or early Friday, and he said, come on, we got to go. And I said, I'm not going. And he said, oh yeah, you are. And I said, oh no, I'm not. And I said, are you going to pay me? I said, because I'm 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And
You're at that age.
I'm at that age, and I says, well, if you're not paying me, I'm not going no more.
Oh my gosh.
And he says, oh yeah, you're going. I said, oh no, I'm not. And I knew to stay away from him enough.
Yeah.
And Mom was there, and I knew he didn't have really time to argue that he had to go.
Oh, you timed it just right, didn't you?
Yeah, because all the other guys were already there, because at that time they had a little small bus they were traveling in and stuff, and everybody's out there, they're blowing the horn on the bus. Come on, let's go, we got to go. And Dad, I got it when he got home, but that's all right.
I bet you did.
I said I got 12 days before he gets home, so I'm all right. So anyway, I actually played with some friends of mine. Steve, I know Steve Murray and the guys and stuff. And of course, back then they were Yellow Rose of Texas. A lot of people don't know that. Steve Murray were Perfect Strangers. I knew Steve. I knew Stacy. I knew Tracy. I knew Richard. Andy. I knew every one of them and stuff. And so I knew they were playing about 12, 13 miles from the house. So that's where I went. And that's the night they actually got signed with Curb, and got to do things and stuff. So I had a bunch of fun time, and then I was playing with a pickup. I was a pickup bass player for a up and coming group that I guess didn't make it at the time. But back then we thought we were something. We were on a bus and running around and this and that and everything else, and I'd come home from a long road trip, and I didn't know what was up and what down, because I mean, if anybody's ever told you, when you're on a bus and stuff like that, you don't know what day it is or what time it is.
Yes, not. Yeah.
Half the time you're sleeping and you're driving. You get up for sound checks and stuff like that. And I mean, you get up for a sound check, it could be 2 o'clock during the day, and you go back to the bus and go to sleep, and then they wake you up and you got 30 minutes. You jump up and grab clothes and you run to the stage, and it could be 10 o'clock at night, and you play to 1, and you run back, get on the bus, and you try to, so it's all confusing. Yeah. And I had started drinking, and I did. Yeah. I had started drinking, and I was with a lot of older guys. I'm not going to name their names. I love them to death. We had a bunch of fun for a couple of years.
I bet.
Made some good music, made some good money, and but my dad had come home, and at that time I was 17, finna turn 18, and I'd right beside my parents' house. It was a little bitty small house that my dad's friend owned that I had purchased, because at that time I never knew where I was going to be, what time I was going to be in, and stuff like that. And of course, there was some, daddy's rules. You're going to live in my house, so I don't have to. I'll just buy my own. So anyway, but you're still next door, so I still had to live by his rules. But nevertheless, Daddy had come home. I just got off the road. I didn't even know what time it was. I could hear him rattling around in the kitchen, and he hollers out, "Hey!" And I said, "Hey, Dad." I said, "I'm getting up." So I get up and I walk in there, and the first thing I do is grab a beer, and I pop the top on a beer and start drinking a beer. And he's making coffee, and I mean, I didn't know what time it was, and he didn't say nothing. He looked at me and he set the coffee down and sit down at the table, and he says, "Well, how was the trip?" And we started talking about all what we did, what we got planned, and that we're all coming back to the studio. The good thing about him owning a studio, I got him plenty of business. And he looked at me, and he waited till I finished that beer, and he looked at me, he says, "You're done." And I looked at him, I said, "What?" He says, "You're done. You're not going back on the road." Well, my dad had a sign for me to go on the road because I was underage.
Oh, okay.
And he says, "You're done." And I said, "No." I said, "Dad, I'm in contract." He says, "Not no more." And he just reached over my own personal phone, picks it up and calls and says, "Hey, he's out. Send the paperwork." And they sent the paperwork, and Daddy signed it, and I was done. I was it. And I was mad. I was furiated. Of course, at 17 years old, I'm looking at that my dad ruined my career. But I'm telling you something, it's the best thing he ever did. Best thing he ever did for me. He made me so mad, I left that day, left the house, I drove straight to the recruiter's office. And I joined the military. I joined the U.S. Navy. Well,
oh my gosh.
I had to wait. I had 3 days before I could actually sign for myself. So I waited. Within 3 days, I went down there and I joined right in the military. And I come home, and I walked into the house, and I told him, I said, "Well, you don't have to worry about me no more." And he turned and looked at me. He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I just joined the U.S. Navy." He said, "When you leave?" I said, "Next week." He said, "Good."
Wow.
I thought I was going to get under his skin. He's like, "Good. That's what you need to."
Wow.
And he says they'll make you a man. And I was like, "Oh, that backfired."
Wow.
But I went to the Navy. It was the best thing I ever did. I went to the Navy and actually joined up with a bunch of guys in the Navy. We were in San Diego. We was all over the place, and we played music. I played music when I could with them and stuff, without doing duty stations and everything. Traveling around and stuff like that. And I got hurt. And I'm not going to go into all that. I don't like talking about a lot of that stuff.
Right.
That through all that. But I got hurt and come home. And when I come home, I was in my little house, and by that time I'd already been married and divorced. And my dad said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, Dad, only 2 things I know is music and mechanic work. That's the only thing I knew." And I said, "The quickest thing I can do is, grab it, set the word out, and then start playing music again." And he said, "Okay." And by this time, Daddy wasn't playing no more. He just did the studios. And
right.
So we made a few calls, and I was right back out playing for a while. And it's funny, I come all the way down here to South Texas and met my wife. I was playing in Victoria. I was playing with a Nashville. Well, he wasn't a Nashville artist yet. He was up and coming, and I was his bass player, and we were traveling around. And actually, my wife's now uncle was playing in the band too, and I knew all his family because he's from East Texas, and I come all the way to South Texas and meet an East Texas girl that grew up 6 miles from me.
Wow.
I never met her. Didn't know her. Never met her. But that night I did, and it was my uncle now. It was his niece. And she was there to see him play. He was playing, so she was there to see him. And we met that night, and ain't been separated since. That's 28 years ago.
Wow. And if those sequence of events hadn't happened the way they happened, we
Yep.
talk about that every week, don't we, Jerry? If those exact sequence of events hadn't happened, you probably would have never met her. And that's just,
I would
wow,
have
what
never
a
met her.
great
I wouldn't.
story.
I wouldn't be here in South Texas.
Yeah,
I mean,
we would have never met you because you
Yeah.
would have never seen Marie. That's cool. Jerry, I know you got something to ask and talk about. Go ahead, Jerry, because you were in the military. I didn't realize that. Jerry is definitely a military man. Go ahead,
I
Jerry.
won't hold it against him that he was in the Navy.
hey, I was Navy, but I was with the Marines.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I was with the Marines. So
Yeah.
in the Navy.
First and foremost, where can we find your music?
It's everywhere. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. We actually have. I'm actually working on 16 songs right now in the studio. I could release 2 or 3 of them. I just haven't yet. I'm trying to get them all done, and then I'm gonna release some more music and stuff. We play.
Excuse me.
I play in 3 different bands. I play every Friday night or Saturday night with Almost Famous Band in Yorktown, Texas at Aunt Di's.
I've been there.
Yeah, and love Norman to death. He's a good friend of mine. I know everybody in the band. He knew I kind of slowed down on playing. I used to play every single weekend, 2 and 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, and I'd slowed down. And then so he asked me to come over there and play when I wasn't playing, and it's my choice if I go play or not. But it's fun. That is something really fun to go do. I'd never really played in a restaurant like that before. I mean, I had it when I was a kid, but not as a grown up. But we have a great time. I love everybody. Everybody we play, we have a good time. They're starting a country Opry. He's asked me to play for that, and I said I sure will. And
Yes.
I love anything I can do to give back to the community. I try to help. And when I say that, I'm actually part of the Trailhead Cowboy Church Band. I'm actually the music leader of the Trailhead Cowboy Church Band. We play traditional gospel music, we play bluegrass gospel music, and we play some of this newer style gospel music that's come out and stuff like that. We do have Jessie Mapes. Jessie sings in our band.
She was on our
the
show. She's great.
Trailhead. Me and Jessie are really good friends. She sings for the gospel band. I actually have one musician that's from Beeville there, Trey Parks, which actually plays for my band
Oh,
too.
wow.
He plays at the church. He's keyboard, lead guitar player, and singer.
Nice.
He plays for me with Southern Solution, which is my band. Southern Solution is my country band, and we play traditional country music. I'm going on a limb here. We play kind of 90s down.
Wow.
90s down music, country music. I try not to too much get in, which I don't want to say a whole lot because people get mad at me and stuff. But to me, some of this newer music is not country. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people call me just a traditional country
Yeah.
singer. But I mean, that's how it was. You split the genres up. When it don't become
Absolutely.
country at a certain point, and I don't care what they say, and but we play traditional country music. We play classic rock and roll, and that's the countryside. And we play all over. We play at all the 5Ds restaurants.
Those are really nice, by the way.
Yeah,
Those steakhouses,
they're
nice.
the Douglashes are really nice people. They they treat us very nice. They got good food, and they have
Yeah,
really
they
nice
do.
facilities and stuff. And
They
everybody's
do,
been
yeah.
super nice to us. So we travel around. Like I said, we try to play once a month.
Wow.
I try to play only once a month.
That's
Uh,
exciting. And about the traditional country, I was born, raised. My dad was in a little country and western band when I was a kid, and it was definitely traditional. So my heart has
yeah.
always been in traditional country. Jerry, anything you want to ask or add, sir, before we get started
Well,
with the song? Man,
well,
interesting
first of all,
story.
I need to make a heartfelt apology as I was trying to pick on our guest. Apparently, I've offended Marie, who says,
Oh
"Hey, my
no.
daughter was in the Navy." So, Marie, I'm so sorry. Okay, because
Oh,
I
that's funny. There's
don't
always
want
the
to get you
wars.
upset.
We
There's
don't want
always
to do
the
that.
wars.
No.
That's funny.
Bless all of them that have served,
Absolutely. Amen
no
to
matter
that.
what branch,
Amen to that.
branch they've been into.
Amen to
Uh,
that. Yes.
I did, you know, I find it interesting. You were talking about the traditional country. Um, no way. I don't think Marie's going to forgive me. That's okay. Um, Talking about the traditional country, but it's really been coming back. It's
Yes.
kind of renamed itself like Red Dirt Country.
Right. Yes.
You know,
I,
and
like you said, I've got a lot of friends now that Jason Allen, Jody Booth, Josh Ward, and all them. You know, a lot of the guys that I know that I've played for and helped in the studio and helped write with and stuff like that. Their music, you know, they broke up. You know, that's what a lot of people don't understand. The Red Dirt Country music is not something new.
right,
It's been going on for years, and it started way back with the swing music that Nashville did not want to produce. So Johnny Bush and them just said, "We'll do it ourselves," and they did, and then that's where the rest, everybody else has picked up from it. It's from Pat Green to on Robert Earl King and stuff like that. The guys like that, and so it's not something new if they just kind of changed the name of it. But if you go back and listen to the guys, Pat Green and Robert Earl King and a bunch of the other guys and stuff, they're traditional country music. Jody, Jody Booth, Jody's a good friend of mine. Jason Allen's a good friend of mine. All of them, you listen to what they write. Got a new up and comer coming up. Several of them that are coming up that people need to really take a focus on because, like you said, a lot of the country traditional roots are coming back, and not just the outlaw country. I'm talking about regular country music, and I mean, and I love the outlaw country music too, and I like some of these new guys that are coming out and stuff. I've heard, there's a guy right now that sings "Ride," and I just think it's phenomenal. He's got one of them deep, kind of scratchy voices, and then some people say, well, that ain't country. Yeah, that's country. I mean,
That's country, yeah. As far
you
as
can't, you can't get a whole lot more country than that.
No.
I mean, but that's what people's got to understand. I mean, it's been here. It's just now to get noticed.
And like
the
you
reason
said, it's coming back because
Yeah.
we went to that new country for so long, and you're right, Jerry. I'm hearing more and more of it coming back, and
Yes.
I'm thrilled about that. I like all genres of music, I really do for the most part, but my heart is in that traditional country. I want to
yeah.
say hello real quick to Miss Sarah Cox and Marie McConaughey and everyone who's viewing tonight. Please do us a big favor. This is so important. Sorry, Robert.
Oh, you're fine.
Please make sure you share this. Make sure you
Yes.
share it. Because Robert, we're noticing a huge influx in people when just people share. It makes
Yes.
such a big difference in our viewers. So y'all share it if you could. Send us a heart. I
Yes.
found out that you get more, whatever. If they send a
You
heart,
get
it's
you get
just a
yeah
like.
you get more than just a like. You get a heart. You get more points for it.
Yeah,
more or
that's
less.
funny. And I said, "Love me, please." Go ahead, Jerry. I know you got something else. Sorry, I had to add that.
no, well, you've already kind of let us know that you've got releases planned coming up this year.
Yes, I do.
What
We'll be releasing. Hopefully, in 2 months, we'll be releasing at least 2 or 3 of them. It's not like the traditional days where you'd go out there and release a whole 16-song CD. And I have played back earlier in the years. I used to play for CMF Band. Heart out to Matt Kilgore and Richard Orrick and all the guys that for 12 years we played together. Fantastic band. We did a 16-song CD and love them all to death. We all wrote together. We all recorded together. We all own the songs together. We made money back then of selling T-shirts and CDs.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
everything has changed so much
It has.
that you pull it out and it's downloading, streaming, and stuff like that. And then, of course, merch is always still a big a big seller. But a lot of people anymore don't buy CDs, so or if they do, they only want one song on it. So and that's what the download thing come up with is that way you just put one out here and you put one out there you can take your time and it's you don't have to do all 16. So you don't have to absorb the cost of doing a 16 song CD.
Yeah, because that gets quite costly.
Yes.
I know, Jerry, do you have that, your current thing? Jerry reads my mind so well. Show him what that is. I think that is the coolest invention ever.
This is a USB card.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the size of a business card, and you can put your music on it, and that will slide right into a USB slot.
Yep.
And
That's so cool.
we're finding that so many people don't do CDs,
Yep.
but
Right.
anybody under the age of 40 has got their computers and everything's hooked up to it. Even my car, that kind of drove me to this, it was my car doesn't have a CD player.
Try.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a USB port, but it doesn't have a CD player.
That's it. Yep.
And so I found this, and it was kind of funny because this initially came to me. I didn't think of this. This is not my idea, but one of the hospitals in North Carolina, one of the major hospitals, are starting to put medical records on these. So now
Yeah.
this doctor's sending you to this doctor. Here's the MRI. Here's all that information.
Yeah.
That this doctor needs, so you can just take this thing with you without
Wow.
a stack of medical records and say, okay. And
Now,
so
I-
it's just,
yeah, it's technology is coming. I work in technology every day, and I
Oh,
see,
so you probably know about that.
I know about it. I see how things progress so fast. I quit doing CDs 15 years ago
Wow.
because that's when YouTube was coming out and things like that. And then we had several other different little media things that you could put your music on and download it from that. And that's how we started doing it to save that money. Now, for back then, we still had CDs made for the shows to sell because there were certain people that still had CDs and stuff like that. But we were already moving towards that platform. People don't understand, like you said, how much it costs to do a song. And somebody's asked me before, like my studio here, if I went and did what I do at a regular studio for one song, it'll be over $5,000, over $5,000 per song. So what I do, you end up having after laying tracks and stuff, you end up having like probably about 72 to 82 hours just in mastering it and things like that. Now they have the platforms of releasing it and everything, the program softwares that made it a whole lot easier. So to release it and stuff, so you don't have that time anymore. You know, back then we used to have to copy it, subscribe, load it to MP3, and it was a nightmare to load it onto the sites and stuff. Now it's so easy.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, a lot easier. We can put it out there. I mean, within 30 seconds, I have music out there, and it's on Spotify. And by the end of the day, the next day, it's on all the music platforms.
Yeah, the drawback that I see of it, though, and I can't change it, but you lose out on that money that you had that you could make by selling those CDs, and
Yes.
they just don't pay the artist what they should for these streaming platforms.
No,
it is
no.
actually ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I've been working with Jay Cubs out of Nashville. He's a good friend. He was friends of my father, and I'm friends with him from RCA, and they're actually trying. A lot of the artists are banding together and stuff like that, trying to get them to change that, them to change the streaming, because you got to have so many download streams. I mean, I don't even know what the platform is. We had Send Me a Miracle. We put Send Me a Miracle out. I really didn't release it in the United States. I did put it out there on the normal platforms, download platforms and stuff like that with Everyway. But I sent it to a friend of mine overseas in Europe.
Okay.
And it went over there, and he called me, and there was a gentleman out of Ireland that wanted to. It was okay to play it on all his platforms.
Wow.
And I can't remember how many radio stations he owns. He owns quite a few of them in Ireland. Talked to him. It was really fun to talk to him because I had to try to tell him to keep slowing down. I thought my father and them talked funny. But
Yeah.
anyway, and so we released that song over there, and "Send Me a Miracle," and it hit the radio charts. It did really well. We actually won an award. We won a number 8 song for being 16 weeks in the top 10.
Wow.
So right before the pandemic hit, we were set up to go over there to do 10 shows, and I was excited. Actually, I think my wife was more excited than I was
I
because
bet she
that's where she wants to go. She wants to go to
Oh
Ireland,
my gosh.
and so we had it set up that we were going to go through there during the summer, and that's when the pandemic hit. And he called me. Remember, it hit over there first. It was worse over there before it was here. And he called me. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry. We're going to have to cancel these shows. The pandemic." I said, "Well, it's not bad here." He said, "Well, it's fixing to." And I said, "Okay." And then he got sick. And I kept calling and talking to him and his wife. And then after the pandemic, he wanted me to come over to do a show. By then, we were back working full time after the pandemic. We were making up, at the school district. We still had kids at home.
Yes.
So there was no possible way that I could go. And so when I release some of these other ones, he's hoping they'll come over and hit the radios because they still play the music over there and stuff.
Well,
And everybody,
is it a different? Do they pay better over in the other countries? Maybe that's why they must. Okay, because that's why a lot of people are releasing their stuff overseas.
well,
That makes more sense.
also too over there, country music in Ireland they love it. They love country music. I didn't know that. I never knew that. Now I know in Japan they do.
Yeah.
They love country music in Japan. But Ireland is the same way now. They love country music. And if you're a country artist or up and coming country artist and you got songs CD, y'all
Send 'em
can
to Ireland.
you can contact me. You can contact me. I'll send you, give his contact. Go over there because they love it. They do. They love it.
Wow. Interesting.
I have played over there once before, and it was just for one show, long show, all day show type show. And
Yeah.
I wasn't a headliner. I was just a bass player for a band that went over there, and I flew over with Joel Saunier. He's a good friend of mine. Love you, Joel. And went over and played bass for him, and we had a fantastic time. But I did not realize how much they love country music over there, and
They
do.
went crazy with you guys, huh?
They treat it like we was royalty.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we got out now. Joel Saunier
Jerry,
was
there you go. You need to go to Ireland, Jerry.
Joel was
Hey, I
yeah.
wanna,
Go ahead.
He's going to Ireland.
I'll go with you.
Let's
but,
all go.
Yeah, but we had a good time. We had a really good time.
Wow.
We did. We
Man,
really enjoyed it. So
That is so cool. You've had so many cool, exciting things in your life. My gosh. I mean, you've done so much with music and you've got so much experience. And I know you're helping other people along the way because I can just tell that about your character. Just
I have,
talking
yes,
with you.
and
I can
and
tell. I can tell.
everybody I can touch.
Yeah.
And I'm a spiritual man.
Yes.
I love the Lord, and I love gospel music, and I say I was not on the right path for many years, and I ain't gonna, I was a typical
And a lot of us
musician.
weren't. Myself too. I mean,
I was a typical musician. I drank. We run around. Anyway, I tried not. Even back then, didn't try to hurt anybody. But Trey Parks from Beeville, years ago, it's been about 25 years ago, he called me and he asked me to come and play bass for him in a group. And I said, okay. And I did. And we hit it off very well. The drummer was Kevin Jones. He's a good friend of mine now. We hit it off very well. And we got to playing. And he says, hey, have you ever played for the church? I said, when I was a kid, yeah. I mean, I played for the church. And he says, well, he was part of Trailhead Cowboy Church. It just started. And he says, we need everybody who can help. Why don't you come over and check us out? And we want you to come play bass for us. I said, oh, I'll think about it. I told my wife, and we did. And that, like I said, that was 25 years ago. And
Wow.
well, it's been about 20 years ago now.
Time goes by so fast. Too,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
because we were together for 5 years before he got me
Yeah.
in the church. But that was 20 years ago. Yeah, how time flies. And
Yes.
that I've been playing for the church, and I called my dad, and I told him, I said, Dad, I said, you're not going to believe this. He said, what's that? I says, well, I'm playing gospel music.
I bet he
And-
was thrilled.
And he's turning at me. He says, well, who better to play for, son?
Oh my gosh, what a great answer.
And I says, whoa, I was kind of blown away. And I says, wonderful. Then
That's perfect.
he called me about 2 weeks later. He says, hey, I got a song I want you to sing. And he goes, how can you come get it? Because at that time I was living here and he's living in East Texas.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm going to come home in a couple of weeks and I'll just get it then. He said, okay. And he did. He wrote a gospel song. My daddy was
Nice.
pretty good songwriter. He wrote for quite a few different people. And he taught me. And I don't consider myself that good. I'm more of the musician. And I thank God I married my wife that is a good lyricist.
Yeah, absolutely. So that reminds me, let's get started on these songs because I know I can't
Okay.
wait to hear it.
Yeah, go
This
ahead.
first song, and I got to ask you, the title of this song is "Send Me a Miracle." Before we play this, tell us real quickly a little bit about this song because I definitely don't want to run out of time. I want everybody to hear your music.
We were I was with CMF band and we were going to do some recording, and
Okay.
and I didn't sing a whole lot. I was, like I said, I was a musician. I helped everybody with music. I choreographed the music and stuff like that, and try to keep
Right,
everything
right.
going and stuff. And I sing a couple of songs, but I've never been a very good vocalist.
You
And,
prefer to do the music, yeah.
Yeah, and my wife said no, and it was night before we're going to the studio, and she was sitting, and I was in my bed. We was in our bedroom, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm picking on my guitar, singing a few songs and stuff like that, and she's humming and she's writing things down, and I knew she was writing lyrics. And she says, here, hands it to me. She goes, sing this. She goes, I need some help with it, here and there and stuff, so help me. And I said, all right. So my wife don't play an instrument, and that's where we butt heads,
Yeah.
because she's trying to tell me the style that she wants this song in, and she can't play instruments, so she can't tell me. She goes, it's like Garth Brooks song, or it's like a Brooks and Dunn song. Well, they got 100,000 songs, so which one? But anyway, for
That's
some
like
reason,
me. I say it's a near. Laugh at me.
and for some reason, I picked up the guitar, and it just flew right through. We stopped. We changed a couple little things on it, and within 30 minutes, we had a complete song, and I knew it backwards and forward.
Oh my gosh.
When we went the next day to the studio. The guys had never heard it. I sat outside in front of the studio with the guitar in my hand. I played it for them. We walked in and recorded it.
Wow.
One
That's
take,
now that's
one
a song.
take, one take, all the way through.
And this is
And,
the song that was on the top 10 charts in
that was-
Ireland.
And Ireland,
So
yes.
long.
Yep,
So
for 16
let's-
weeks.
Wow, that's incredible. So let's get to it. This is
All right.
Send Me a Miracle.
Yep.
And before we do, I want to remind both of you, and I'll do the same, to make sure you mute your mics.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let me try that again. Mute your mics while we're playing it. Jerry, can you hear me? Ah, Jerry's always, and I got to remember to unmute my mic when we come back because I'm bad about that. Okay, folks, without further ado, here is Send Me a Miracle by Robert Spears and his beautiful wife, I'm sure. Here we go.
See the clouds gathering, the storm is heading home. When she said forever, the clouds are gathering, the storm is heading home. I know she said forever, she didn't mean alone. But no more late nights, and no more being gone. Send me a miracle, Daddy's coming home. Yes, send me a miracle, Daddy's coming home.
Wow, I like that song, Robert. It's definitely traditional country. Very well done. I like the lyrics. It's very good. By the way, Paul just messaged and he's going to join us as well. So, Jerry, what'd you think? It's a traditional country. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Traditional country, definitely. I like it. Love his voice. Great song. Thank you, Marie. Miss Jennifer Vella is here. I believe she works with you. I believe. She said, hey, coworker. What'd she say?
Yeah.
Up here, she said, okay, hold on. I lost it. Oh, hello, coworker.
Coworker.
Can you see it over there?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I like that song a lot. Send me a miracle. I like it. I like it. Let's see if Paul's going to show up. So what was the inspiration behind that song? Did your wife ever tell you how she came up with that line? Those
Well,
lines?
Yeah, at the time, you know, I was playing 4 or 5 nights a week,
Right.
and of course, at the time, we still had kids at home, so she was not able to go, and
Oh,
and it was we were going through a little rough time,
yeah.
and because I was trying to juggle that and juggle a family, and it was kind of new to me anyway, you know, because before I was always by myself, and so it
Yes.
didn't matter how I did or how I went and everything, and so you know it was a wake up call because when you really listen to the
To the lyrics?
lyrics,
Yeah.
it was she wrote it in my for me. You know,
Yes.
she wrote it for me talking to her
Yes.
because you know I felt bad. I missed a lot of family functions. I missed a lot of kids' birthdays. I missed a lot of kids' activities and stuff. I
Yeah.
have 2 kids in East Texas that my first 2 kids, you know, my kids
Yeah.
from my first marriage. I missed a lot of things, and at the time I was struggling myself. You know, just me. You know, me myself was struggling.
Yeah. Of
and
course.
and at the time, and she wrote the song perfectly. I could not have said it any better.
It's like you wrote it. It's almost like you would, if you
It's-
would have written it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
like
you
it
would have said.
come out of my mouth, and she wrote it. Now we did a little tweaking, and that
Yeah.
was just for flowing purposes, but
Yeah.
nothing was changed in the song.
Wow.
That's her first take, and that's how she usually does her songs. Is she gets something in her head, and I don't know how long it rolls around in her head, and then the next thing I know, I've got paper all over the house, and she, oh, don't write on that, it's a piece of a song. Oh, don't write on this,
Yeah.
a piece of a song, and
Wow.
so
That's great.
I've actually bought her a binder and say, look, when you do that, take the binder and do it in the binder.
Yeah.
But she is a fantastic. She don't think she is, but she is a fantastic.
course.
She wrote 4 of the songs on the 16-song CD for CMF. This was one of
Wow.
them, and she wrote them within 2 weeks. And
That's impressive. That's a lot of songs.
she just she loves poetry.
Yeah.
And she used to write as a kid, so the flowing thing she's got down. Now
Yeah.
I have taught her now like count. You know, she knows count. So
Yeah.
now when she writes, she can go ta 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 and then ta ta ta, you know, and she can count. So
Well, that helps you play it better, too.
Yeah, definitely, because it flows better. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And I love her with all my heart. She used to sing with our band. She used to have a beautiful voice. Smoking and alcohol. She blew her throat out one night. Somebody had come up and requested, I can't remember, a Reba McEntire song, and she says I can do it, and I said okay. You know, I'm not going to tell her what to do, and we end up taking her to the doctor, and she has busted one vocal cord.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so she can still sing, She can still
Yeah.
sing, but she cannot. She's got a deeper voice now, kind of
Yeah.
scratchy type voice now. She used to have a real pretty voice, and so now she don't sing a whole lot. She'll come sing with me in the studio a little bit here and there. So when nobody else is around.
Wow. Well, we watched a documentary about Shania Twain. I don't know if you saw that, but she lost her voice. That's why she was out of the music for so long.
Yep.
She had Lyme disease, and it took her voice. I mean,
Yep, it affected
that's
her
why her
voice.
voice has completely changed. Wow.
Yep.
Let's see. Marie said, my brother was like that. He could sit down, and in 30 minutes to an hour, he would have a song written. Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, that amazes me. She amazes me. And some other friends and stuff that write too. Matt Kilgore that played lead guitar for us in CMF band and still plays for me from time to time and stuff. Really good friend of mine. Man, it takes me 2 years to write a song.
Yeah.
They could sit down and have a topic and then they just whip stuff out.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, I don't know how they do it. Like I said, it takes, I wrote a song for my wife. I did record it, and of course I'll never release it. It was just for her.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 years to write it.
Wow.
And I mean, now the music side, I could put music down to it, the basic music down to it in 30 minutes. Bam.
Yeah.
I mean, the beat, count, everything, I had that down, then adding everything else. But the lyrics, holy smoke.
It's not easy to write them. Yeah.
no.
For sure.
Mm-mm.
So
If
these
anybody
other two
thinks they're-
songs, these other two songs that we have, "Rage" and "Regret," and I think I was like, man, those are both negative subjects. Did she write both of those too? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
Regret we wrote together.
Okay.
If you listen to Regret, when you play Regret, if you listen to it, and you'll understand where it come from.
Okay.
I've had a lot of friends in Nashville, or go to Nashville, think they're just fantastic players and fantastic singers, and they get there, and they find out that they're on a street corner singing for change
That's what I've heard.
just to survive on.
Yeah. Because
when
there's so many.
When you think you're that good, go to Nashville and just walk. No, see, and I tell everybody, go visit. When you think you're that good, go to Nashville and just visit, and you can see the studio musicians in the small little bitty bars singing and playing for 4 hours for $50.
Wow.
Things like that, or tips out, like I said, tips out on the sidewalk and stuff like that. And then you hear them sing, you go, whoa, I thought I was a fantastic bass player. Bass is my instrument. Bass is what I love to play. I don't play a whole lot of it anymore. I play guitar for most people and stuff.
Yeah.
But I love to play, when I play for big bands and stuff, I play bass. And I thought I was hot. And I went to Nashville. and I was in the studio. And I was playing. And we were cutting a record. And I said, we good. Of course, I'm 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
We're good. Well, man, I'm good. I didn't do anything. And the guy from behind the board, the engineer, says, oh, hold a minute. Come here. Let me show you something. He picks up the bass. He goes, I go, I'm just looking like, huh? Whoa. And I said, I said, okay, pick it up. And I it's like, holy smoke. It humbled me 100% right then. Humbled me. Do I think I can play good? Yes, I can play good. Do I think I'm the best? No. There's people out there can play hands down. And there's a lot of people that can play and sing that are not noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people out there in the shadows that should be noticed. So Paul Gallagher, another good friend of ours, is here. Let me go ahead and bring him on, but first let's start your song. This next song is called Rage.
Rage, yeah.
Did you want to let's have you tell us about that after we play it, okay?
Okay, we'll do, yeah.
We're gone.
No problem, yeah.
Okay, here is Rage by Robert Spears. Make sure. Oh, I got to get it in here. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got distracted for a minute. My brain, it doesn't take much. All right, here we go. Here is Rage.
It's the same old crap, just a different day. Making my way down the same old highway.
I like that song about road rage and all the terrible things that are going on in this world. Boy, there's enough of them, aren't there?
It sure is. Sure
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. So, folks, I don't know if you noticed or not. I guess you're probably like, wait a minute, there's another person. Paul Gallagher is here. He hasn't been on in a while. Paul, welcome back.
You know, every time I try to meet up with you or something's going on, something's always happening.
I know. I understand.
Life.
He's got 2 small kids. I know. So welcome back, Paul. I'm glad you're here. To your left, wait, to your right, whatever side that is our guest, Mr. Robert Spears. And, of course, you know Mr. Jerry Bradley. So,
Hello, Miss Gallagher.
Hello.
yes, Paul lives here in Beeville, too, Robert. So that's pretty cool that you are local. Robert is in Nordheim, Texas, and he's plays with a couple of different bands. Miss Marie McConaughey sent Robert. By the way, big shout out to Marie.
Yes. Hi, Marie. I appreciate it.
Yes. So we have one more song from you, Robert. Let's get to
Okay.
that because I don't
Okay.
want to run out of time. Again, I'm always scared about running out of time.
No
And
problem.
you know what? I found out when we were doing the radio show last week, because we're using Restream now on the radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, after a certain amount of time, it literally just shuts down. It
Yeah.
won't let you comment.
That's
we didn't
right.
know that and I was like, okay, we have to keep it at a minimum then. Absolutely. So the next song is called Regret. Oh, did you want to
Yes.
say anything about Rage, first of all? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Rage actually come from. We were watching the news one night, and it was the news out of Houston and San Antonio. And I'd be darned if it would. We watched the Houston news first,
Right.
and there was 3 shootings. There was one drive-by shooting.
Wow.
There was one. I think the one was shot for his truck in the parking lot, and the other one was a road rage shooting. They
Wow.
said they fought and they tried to get away from him and he shot him. And then we turned on San Antonio news, and almost the same exact thing that happened in Houston that day happened in San Antonio.
Oh
And my wife wears her feelings on her sleeve.
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
She gets pretty emotional and stuff.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, she's coming out of the bedroom, and she's wiping tears and stuff. And she said, "Here," and she hands this to me, and it's road rage.
Wow.
And I look at her. She's trying to tell me something, and she goes, "No, you just heard. About 2 hours later, what she heard." And she goes, "I think this would be a good song to reach people at this time."
Yeah.
The next day, I was in the studio. 2 days later, it was done and released.
Wow.
So-
Now that's moving quick. Well, you got to hit it while the iron's hot. You got to get it when you got that feeling about that song.
What,
So,
like I said,
this
she
next
she
one-
just wanted to get it out to people. Let
Yeah.
people know that they're not the only ones.
Yeah, absolutely. No kidding. Because there's so much of this bad stuff going on every time we turn on the TV. That's why I honestly quit watching the news. I shared my song, one of my other songs I wrote about shootings, and I said, I don't know, it's the truth. I don't even watch the news anymore because
I don't
all it
either.
does is depress me. I'm just like, I can't handle it. There's too much bad. So the next song is called Regret, and I know you said to listen closely to those lyrics, and I definitely will. Anything you want to say about this song before we start, or you just want to tell us about it after we're done listening to it, Robert?
Yeah, wait. When we get done listening to it, I'll remark on it and let
Okay.
you know. I'll let you know what the story behind this song truly is.
Okay, great. So this song is called Regret. And make sure, guys, I'm reminding y'all once again to mute your mics while we're playing this song because we found out that I'm getting echo anyway.
Echo.
Okay, here we go. Let me make sure I've got it in here. And we are ready. Here we go.
Stands alone in the corner at the end of the street, playing his guitar with the case at his feet, singing sad song, watching memories searching for his words that whiskey washed away. No more music he'll wanna play. Jim Beam and whiskey will take him away. No more sad songs on his list for today. With regret on his face, he wipes away, tears away, hoping that change his way, hoping that something might change for today.
All right, very nice, Robert. And that was a waltz, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm always like, okay, I recognize the music. I know that's a waltz. Man, I like that.
You don't
I
hear
like
too many of
the
them
guitar in
anymore.
there. No, not very often at all. I love the guitar in that one. That was really, really cool. So tell us about that song, how it came to be.
Me and my wife wrote that song together.
Okay.
I had a good friend named Red Wooten from Yorktown, Texas. When I first come down here, he's probably the second musician I ever met. And he's about 5 foot tall.
That name sounds so familiar. I was like, Red Wooten. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I had met him years ago, and I didn't know it. Back when I was playing with Nashville artists and stuff, he played with a lot of the same people that I'd played with and been around with the same people I had been around with. And he actually showed me a photo of me when I was 18 years old, me and him playing in the same band. And I didn't remember. And then once he brought it to my attention, I'd remember, and then I remembered I'd played numerous times with him. And when I seen him there in Yorktown, he was back then, he drove back then, a $40,000 truck was an expensive truck.
Yeah.
Lived in a huge brick home. He was married, had 2 kids, had every toy you could think of, he was a lead guitar player, but he played piano, he played drums, he played anything. He had a house full of equipment. And when I come here to Yorktown, Texas, I found him in a rent-to-by-week little house by himself.
Wow.
His wife had passed away of cancer. Well, when I first got here and met him, she had not passed away yet. His kids had left him. He had fallen so far. I mean, he was on top. He was a studio musician for Curb Records.
Wow.
And he was so talented, could write songs, could play instruments. But this song was wrote for him.
Wow.
Because when I met him, he was literally standing on a street corner trying to play music to get enough money to buy dinner for him and his wife.
Oh my gosh.
And he had fell so far. And of course, me and my wife, we immediately, he didn't have to play. I gave him money. I took food to him. I got him back into my band. I had him playing with me again.
Thank God. Yeah.
The whole thing was, though, he couldn't drink. That was the whole thing. You got to be sober. And his wife passed away. And after he passed away, he just went on the bad side. I never got him back. He ended up leaving Yorktown. His kids were in Oklahoma. He had went to Oklahoma. His son was having problems, so he dropped everything, which was wonderful. And he went to go be with his son. And his son committed suicide 2 weeks after his dad got there. And then I lost Red. Red had a massive stroke from all the alcohol that he had done. A friend of ours called me and said he was in Rockport, Texas, in the nursing home, and he's my age.
Oh my gosh.
And I went and seen him, took him fishing a few times, and then I got the call that he had passed away. And when he passed away, it hit me hard because I could have been there. if my dad didn't do what he did. And I took it hard. And me and my wife wrote this song, and it's a tribute to him.
Wow.
If you'll notice, everything was nothing would change for him today.
Yeah.
All he wanted was Jim Beam and whiskey, and it's a tribute to him. And I miss him dearly. I do. I miss him dearly.
I can just imagine. I mean, he influenced your entire career. He was
Yep.
part of your informative years when you were doing all of that great stuff, and you looked up to him. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And he was your age. That's just.
Yeah.
It makes me
And-
wonder because there's a Wooten that grew up here in Beeville that everybody always talks about, Brian Wooten. That's a big time guitar player who plays for Trace Atkins. And I just when you
That's his
said Wooten,
nephew.
I was trying to remember. I
That's
wonder
his
if there
nephew.
were- Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
my
I know.
daughter
I know
was-
Brian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. My daughter was married to. Anyway, they were good friends. Her in-laws
Yeah.
were good. They're like best friends with him. So she got to go to Vegas with them and see him and all that. And I was like, wow, man, that's a shame. I'm so sorry for your loss. It's just crazy. You can take one little wrong turn, and it'll literally change your entire life, right?
Yep.
Wow.
I look. Music is a good thing,
Yes.
but it also can be a bad thing.
Mhm.
Like I said, I play in Trailhead Cowboy Church Band, the church band, the gospel band. I play for my own band, Southern Solution, and then
Right.
I also help out Norman with the Almost Famous band. You're talking about helping people and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say this because he's listening up here, Roger Possum, and he just commented and he said, "Way to go, Boss Man," and he calls him Boss Man because he is my
hi,
drummer.
Roger.
He's actually my
Well,
drummer
hello,
in
thanks for
Southern
being
Solution and Trailhead Cowboy Church, and he
Nice.
and he also fills in with the Almost Famous band too.
Wow.
And he was kind of I consider done wrong. He practiced with a group for almost a year, and when they got really good enough to start gigging, they laid him off and hired somebody else.
Oh,
And
wow.
they did this, and I make fun with him all the time, and he's a good guy, and he's blind.
Wow.
He's totally blind. He's not disabled blind. He is totally blind. And I have played with blind piano players, blind guitar players, blind bass players, but I've never played with a blind drummer.
That's incredible.
He had put something on Facebook, says, "Hey guys, I'm out here." He's in Yorktown. If y'all want to jam, I'm here at my house. He's got a big practice area that he's got set up with a PA and everything. And he just wanted to play. He just wanted to play. And I'd already reached out to him, kind of heard the thing, and I told my wife. My wife looked at me. She goes, "I know." She goes, "You're going?" I said, "Yeah." I called him and told him I was going. Went over, actually called a friend of mine, Eddie, that was playing bass for me and for my band at the time. We went over and we jammed with him, had a blast, had a really good time.
Oh,
He's a
wow.
he's a really good guy. He's actually a really good drummer. A lot of
bet.
people don't know. Nobody ever gave him a chance.
Yeah.
Nobody would
And
ever
that's
give
a
him a
shame.
chance.
Yeah.
And it's a crying shame.
Yeah.
Because he's a fantastic person.
Yeah.
He's got the best outlook. I mean, I could only imagine what he's been through. But he's always laughing. He's always cutting up, and he's always there to do his own thing.
That's
I help him. He goes with me. He plays full time in Southern Solution. He plays full time in Trailhead Band. Now he plays part time for Almost Famous Band when Joe can't play.
Right.
Now
Right.
we go play, and I go by and I pick him up. I have a trailer. We pick his drums up. He helps me carry his drums.
Wow.
We go in. First thing I do, I talk to him and tell him where we're at, what we're doing, and what it looks like. He gets up on stage. He rolls his mat out. He turns around, takes his drums, and puts them all together by himself while I'm putting the PA together.
Oh my gosh. That's really awesome. Wow.
He puts his we don't use no monitors. We use earbuds, of course.
Yeah.
He puts all that together. He has it sitting on the PA for me. His microphone, he got his microphone and stuff like that. He does all his own work. And I'm telling on you, Roger. I love you, brother. But
Wow.
he does his own weight. He pulls his own weight. Now, do I go by and pick him up? I said, well, I'm going anyway. You live in Yorktown.
Yeah. It's right there.
Well, you're 7 miles from me. So what? Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why. But the thing about it is somebody like that, and he's learning. This is his first band that he's ever really played out with. He's and he was nervous the first few times, and now he's learning that sometimes we do stuff on the fly. you know
Yeah.
you know how it happens. Somebody goes, hey, can you? Oh, we play this. Let's go. And he goes, oh yeah, all right. So now he's learning to just take that with stride. But
That's awesome.
but he's always got a fantastic attitude. He's
Yeah.
always that we can do it. I'll do it. What? How are we going to do it? And of course we laugh with my wife. Now my wife says I don't have to go with you no more. She goes, I've been doing this for 28 years with you, all over the United States, and she goes, I don't have to go no more. She goes, you got a co-pilot.
I love that. Yeah.
So now we laugh because I call my wife every time we get finished loading up. We'll get ready to come home. The first thing I do, I get on the phone. Hey, we're done. I'm on my way home. And she goes, well, how about your co-pilot? And he's talking because it's on the car, on the phone,
Yeah.
on the car in the car. And he says, I'm here. He goes, actually, I'm driving. Robert's guiding me. And
That's
but yeah,
funny.
but it's
I
really
love
good.
that.
So yeah, and I
Oh
love
my
him to
gosh.
death. I love him to death. And like you just talking about, I have tried to help. I have reached out to a lot of people, show people, kids. A kid wants to learn to play guitar. I have been over backwards to help them. And
I bet
I've
you
got
have.
I have taught kids that can outplay me hands down.
The kids
But now-
usually can do everything better than we can. They
Now,
just
they come
they're
fi-
natural, they're just sponges.
One year, there was a little kid. Back when I was in East Texas, a little kid knew I played music. Come by the house and knew my father, and he says, he didn't have the money for a guitar.
Yeah.
I just went in the back and I had an old guitar. I restrung it. I put it together. I gave it to him. Here,
That's
play on
nice.
this. And I said, now go to here. Of course, back then it was still a Mel Bay book for chords,
Yes.
and
No
within
online
1 year,
back then.
within 1 year, well, after about 4 months, he stopped coming around. I thought he's done lost interest. Blah blah blah. Year later, he comes over, sets me, and I said, I'm gonna play. I said, did you pick up? Yeah, let me. He picked one of my lead guitars up, and he said, y'all ready? Yeah. Started playing lead. I said, holy smoke macarona! I mean,
Yeah.
outplayed me hands down, but I loved it. I really did. I loved it.
That's so awesome that you were able to do that for him.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that
it-
is.
I just appreciate people. I appreciate music. Music.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the Lord has put me here on this earth for something,
Yes.
and I am an ordained minister.
Oh wow.
I don't preach. I did it because every time they had Bible study, I was always with the music group. So I never got Bible study. So I took an online course here at the house through
Nice.
the college and seminary school to do Bible study.
Very
And
nice.
I went through it, and my wife said, well, why don't you just go ahead and take the test and stuff. She goes,
Might as well.
you did everything, and
Yeah.
and I did, and I passed it.
Yay.
But anyway, I did it for, like I said, for Bible study, not to preach. Now I have
Yeah.
preached a few times at our church when
Yeah.
when was needed and stuff like that. But I always tell people the gift that I got from the Lord was music.
For sure. For sure. The music.
The
yeah.
the upper hands that I got from my father and my family that plays music.
Yeah. You just
and-
all the way around.
I tell people that this is my way of reaching people, because and I tell everybody this, I love country music. I do. I love country music, but I love gospel music too. And what people don't understand, every time they come to one of our shows, Southern Solutions shows, they get country music and gospel music.
They probably don't even catch it. Yeah.
And I have made it known straight up, hey, I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm gonna play this gospel song. And also too, Cody Jinks, a lot of he's a Texas artist, don't realize I cast no stones. Listen
Yes,
to the
I
song.
love that song.
I sing it all the time. I
Oh,
sing it on
love that
stage
song. Yes.
because it's a gospel song.
Yes,
I mean, straight
it's
up.
so beautiful. The lyrics
And,
of that song are so beautiful.
So a lot of people know that they come and they do get some gospel music too at all our
Well,
shows.
that's why everybody loves you so much, because you're really playing and singing and playing to their hearts. You know what people need to hear, what they don't even maybe not even realize that they need to hear it, but they do. So, you know what? I didn't give Paul a chance to even say anything. Paul,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Are you still? That's okay. That's okay. I know that you got some really cool, interesting stories. Paul here is that he's been learning to play the guitar, and he's been writing some songs too.
Good.
Did you lose your guitar, Paul?
I lost my pick.
Oh,
I was playing with it and it went.
Good chance and you lose your pick. Oh my god.
Is this?
Now
Oh,
we-
there it is. I found it. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, we only have about 15 minutes left because I found out they do radio. Nobody
They
can
do.
comment.
That
I'm
they
like,
do.
"What happened?" And Maria's commenting.
Yeah,
and she
they-
goes,
they
well,
do
something
knock
must
you out.
happen. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So, Paul, have you written anything new lately?
I wrote a song for my parents for their 50th anniversary,
Okay.
and I've been practicing that one, and it actually is a pretty dang good song. I gotta say,
Nice.
it's got to be the first song that I can say that I wrote that actually I put a lot of chords into it, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah, because he just started playing and he started writing because he's an author as well.
Oh, okay, good.
And Jerry over here, well, I told you already, Jerry is a
Yeah.
musician, a singer,
Yeah.
songwriter. Yeah, we're just surrounded by talent. I'm just like absorbing it through my skin. Why don't we? Jerry says no. Jerry, yes, Jerry is so talented. Absolutely.
I'm not a singer.
Well,
I get other
Yeah,
people.
You're like
Yeah,
me.
Jerry
I've
gets-
always been in the background.
yeah, Jerry has picked the people to sing his songs that they, oh my gosh. I mean, he knows how to pick them. He has another song he just wrote that he's working on. He's continuously working on new material. And he's got so many great people that he gets. I don't know where he finds these people, but he picks the best people. It is.
Well, let me, and you'll get to hear a little of that next week.
Oh, good.
Because the young lady that agreed to sing this last song
Yes.
is with Gems of Grace.
Oh gosh, you sent me some of her information. She is fantastic. I can't wait. That's going to be a great show. Gems of Grace is our show, is our guest next week.
Next week.
Yeah,
and
next
they
week, yeah.
are they're what would you classify their genre? Christian, gospel? What would you classify it, Jerry?
That's hard. I would certainly say Christian, but more Christian contemporary.
Yeah.
Certainly
Right.
more contemporary than I am. I kind of lean toward heavy country.
Yeah.
But there's Gems of Grace, and then we've got Leo.
Alejandro, yes.
Thank you. Oh, you got your list with you.
I do. I put it in front of me. Can you believe that, Jerry? I cannot believe it. It's in front of me. It's a miracle. You don't even know, Robert. If I don't have it written down and right in front of me, I do not remember. So after last time, I said, Jerry, please send me that because my memory is so bad. Yeah, we've got some great, great artists coming up.
That's
so I
good,
want to
yeah.
give Paul a chance to.
Yeah, I want to hear
Did
it.
you find your pick? He found it. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but Paul hasn't been on in a while. I want
Yeah,
to give
no,
you a
let-
chance.
yeah.
If you want to give us a little taste of that song, what's the title of it?
It's one page at a time.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
I've heard it, but y'all haven't. I have not heard it like live. I don't know. Do you want to play a little bit of it, Paul?
Sure, I guess. I wasn't ready for that.
You don't have to, but I want to give you an opportunity because we don't have very long left. Let's
I don't-
hear it for a few minutes, guys and
Yeah.
gals. Thank you so much for being patient. You might want to turn your phone all the way down, Paul, because it's loud.
Well, I know my wife's trying to call me. She doesn't even know I'm on the show.
Uh-oh. You better answer.
There, I'll just. Oh, come on. What? Yeah, you kind of got me here because I wasn't prepared to do this.
That's okay. I mean, if you want to wait and do it later, we can do it later.
No,
Just a little bit of it. Give us a little taste of the chorus, maybe.
I don't know if you can actually hear it. It can. How's the guitar come across? That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can hear it, no problem.
You can? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Now watch. I'm gonna end up probably doing the whole song. Hold on. Let me. All right, here we go. Met at a local dive called the King Bee. He stared at a picture of a poetry. She started to question, is he looking at me? Saw his eyes shift, here's the rest you see. she completed her nursing degree. Got down on one knee, will you marry me? 4 years later, free, wild and free. As the family grows, so does a tree. History is written one page at a time. Taking out that RV, right in the yellow line. Counting their blessings, one trip at a time. 50 years later, time traveling minds. And that's basically.
Very nice. Because
Very
his
nice,
parents
very
just
good.
celebrated-
There's
Yeah.
more to it.
And they just celebrated their 50th anniversary, right, Paul? So that was a tribute to them. And I know it's a work in progress, like all the songs that you're working on are. But are you planning on taking that into a studio maybe and recording
Oh
it?
yeah.
Paul?
You know, it is so funny is that my favorite part of this, and it's something that I just came up with on the slide because I don't know notes. I mean, I know a little bit of notes,
Yeah.
but I play a lot of it by ear.
Yeah.
And I this one note just got me. I love the way that sounds.
I don't know what it is, but it's pretty.
And I don't know what it is about it, but it's like the in between, and I don't know. It just turned
Yeah.
out.
That's
I like
really pretty. Well, Paul has been playing for a very short time, and I
9 months.
practiced for a long time, and he's so much better than I was. Even I need to pick up my guitar and try every day. I say that I need to mess with it.
Yeah,
I just
I've been
haven't.
playing the guitar for about 9 months, right?
Yeah, about 9 months. And you've
Oh,
learned
you're
a
doing
lot in
good.
that time.
Yeah, you're
I mean, at
doing
least
good.
you can accompany yourself and get the point across. I think it's great. I really
Yeah.
do.
Cute,
So,
yeah.
Jerry, anything that you'd like to add, sir? I hate to, gosh, Paul, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think we want to have any regrets here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. No regrets. I love it. I love it. So I'm excited. Next week we have Gems of Grace on here. And I know Jerry and myself, we've been really looking forward to having them. They're a great group. I'm really excited. Where are they out of, Jerry? Are they out of Nashville or where are they? I think you said that.
No, they're not.
Where are they?
They're out of Texas.
Oh, they're out of Texas. Well, see, I
All
didn't
right.
even look at it yet. I didn't even
I
look
can't
at it.
remember where in Texas, but
Nice.
You know.
Well, I like
Yeah.
anything
I mean-
in Texas. Anything in Texas is great.
Yeah,
That's where we
definitely.
are. So
Yeah.
yay. The only one, Jerry is in North Carolina. Paul is in Beeville with us. And Robert lives in Nordheim. So we're right. Is that right, Robert?
Yeah, Nordheim. Yep.
So
Nordheim,
you're just right
Texas.
down the road from
Right
us.
down the road. Yep.
Awesome. Well, we are now friends on Facebook, I believe, Robert.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think. And so I want to encourage you to share your shows, upcoming events you have coming, and I'll share them out to our audience.
Okay.
Paul, what you got, sir? Anything you want to add? Because we're going to have to get going here. Because
No, nothing to add. I'm sorry I was so late coming onto the show. Like I
That's
said, I just
okay.
jumped on here.
I'm glad you did. We missed you. It's been a long, long time. And by the way, we have Restream working on the radio now.
All good. Yeah.
All we had to do, Paul, this is crazy, was take the computer and use the computer. And we decided to try it, and it works. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But the gaming computer, that I bought for
Yeah.
the podcast, because it's got more whatever.
More. It's more RAM. It's faster.
Yeah,
It can hold-
I
it can
can't
hold the
believe
load.
it. And for a year, Robert, we've been dealing with Facebook knocking us off and
Oh,
muting
yeah.
us, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And we did get YouTube sent me a message the first show we did, because we played music the whole night on the radio, and we had
Oh,
the
okay. Good.
Restream on, like we
Yeah.
had it where you could hear it.
Yeah.
And I got a message from YouTube saying that your video has been banned. Some content has been banned in some countries. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
great. Here we go again. But the only country, it was one song, and it was 8675309 that Brett played. And it was banned in Russia. And
There
I was
you
like,
go.
You know what?
Hey, ain't no problem.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Hey,
okay.
Russia don't
So
want
I
to play
was
it.
like,
We good.
yeah, exactly. So I was thrilled. So I'm going to keep using it, and that way I can schedule the events when I know something's coming up, and at least schedule and let everyone know what we have coming up with the
Sure.
with the
Yes.
guests,
Yeah.
and so
Most
forth.
definitely.
Robert, it's
And real-
been an honor to have
and
you
real
here.
quick,
Go
I
ahead.
don't want to interrupt anybody, but
No, it's okay.
my kids are doing their thing. My wife's at the store. I have to go and do that. And it was nice meeting you. I have to jump off.
Nice
Okay,
meeting
Paul,
you.
nice seeing you, honey.
Appreciate
You
it.
take care.
Next time I can stay longer.
Yeah,
I know,
most definitely.
we will. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you share this with your friends and family. Robert, thank you so much for being
I
here with
appreciate
us.
it.
It's been
Appreciate
an
it.
honor.
People can come out and see us. We're going to play the April the 14th
Yes.
in Yorktown, Texas at 5D at the Big 5D restaurant. So
That is a nice restaurant. Man, that's
Yeah.
the one I've been to. It is
yeah,
nice.
it's a
I
really
mean,
nice
like,
place.
It's the Cadillac, if you
Yeah,
ask
it's the
me.
It's the first
Yeah.
one. It's the
We
first one that
wanted-
Douglas built. Yes.
Yes, that's the one I wanted to rent it because they're so reasonable to rent
Oh, yeah.
for our concert that we did.
Yeah.
But it was still because of the drive we didn't do it, and I was like, it's
Yeah.
so reasonable, and it's a
Oh, yeah. Beautiful place. Beautiful
venue.
place.
So you're playing. Tell them where you're going to be playing and where, if they want to, your music, they can get it on all music streaming
Yeah,
platforms. Correct?
every music streaming platform out there, the music's on. You just go search Robert Spears, and it's
Okay.
there. Also, like I said, April the 14th, we're at 5D Restaurant in Yorktown. I
Nice.
want to say April the 28th is, I think, a Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. It's the last weekend in April. We're actually in Rockport at Legends,
Nice.
playing over for Big John and them over
Yeah,
there.
I think we've been there. We went and saw an artist over there. It's
I
beautiful. there.
love it. I love going over
Yeah.
there. As soon as Big John knew I was back playing again, he called me. Bam! I got to have you. That's
Oh,
all right.
very nice.
Because
Well,
like I
love
said,
the
I slowed
opportunity.
down. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, we
well,
used to do it every weekend and stuff, and I actually had a heart attack, and my wife said, "No, you're done. You're gonna slow down."
Yeah.
Well, I got back home, got well, and I started playing again.
That sounds familiar, right? I know
So,
it
yeah.
happens to a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You don't even,
I,
God said, I'm going to slow you down whether you want to or not.
that's it. That's it.
Oh my God.
So, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
we play. So
Yeah,
we
and
play.
share those locations with
Yes,
me as
we
get
will.
closer, and I'll
I
share
will.
them on my page.
I will, and you know, if you see anybody like Jerry, whatever, I'm gonna send you some people to you. Like
Yes,
I
I was
know a
gonna
lot of
say.
musicians and stuff that
Please
would
do.
love to come out. They're singer songwriters.
Yes,
There's
make
more out
sure
in
they're
Texas that
original
people.
songs.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely.
Yes.
I mean, we do cover tunes too, but we do original stuff too.
Yeah,
So,
it's just on our show we ask that for originals just because we want to maintain that as our platform. You know what I mean?
totally understand, and I love it. I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see somebody doing that for
Yes.
people to be able to get heard or seen or get a little exposure. Because, like you said, there is so many people out there that can play, can sing, can write,
I
that
know.
don't know how to get the exposure and stuff. And sometimes that's all it takes. It takes one person to hear them. And,
Yeah, and it blows
I
my
was
mind.
I was a living truth, you know, at a
Yeah.
young age, you know,
Absolutely.
and but we have a blast and we enjoy
Absolutely.
it. So
And
I
it
enjoy
blows
it.
my mind the level of talent that's out there. Every week, I'm just astonished. I'm like, how are they not signed? Because you're getting way more independent artists now than you are getting anyone that's signed to a record label. It's just there's so many and they're so good. It's
There's an upcoming artist that's coming up. I've known him for years. He actually played lead guitar for me. He's very, very, very talented. He has his own. He had his own studio and stuff. It's Jeremy Anderson. He
Okay.
just released the song. It's actually 98 on the charts now, and it's climbing. And I'm gonna reach out to him and send him to you. His stuff is charting.
Please do. That would be so
Super nice guy.
Yes.
Wonderful. He's my age. I think he's a little younger than I am. Jeremy is, but he is very, very, very talented.
Oh,
Very
I'm
talented.
excited. Yes,
So,
please,
and
Robert.
and
I
I'm
would-
proud to see him go, start going
Awesome.
because
Yes.
he was like
Yeah.
me. He's always been in the background, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are booked. There's my. I'm proud to say we're booked up all the way to the first week in June, and we're still going.
That's wonderful. That is
so
wonderful.
Please send the artists. Just
Yes.
tell them it'll be a while till we get them on.
Yeah, ain't no problem. No problem. They all the musicians understand that.
Absolutely. Well, Robert, thank you again. Jerry, thank you so much for being here, guys. We
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
God bless you. And remember, try to do something kind for someone, ladies and gentlemen,
That's
like
it.
y'all always do, even if it's just a little smile.
That's it. God bless y'all. God bless you. Y'all have a good
Thank
night.
you, Robert.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.